Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Vince Rocco in New York, so let's get right to what everyone is talking about. Today on the show, in real estate and in life, recognition isn't just about applause or awards. It's about leverage. Whether it's a glowing client testimonial, a feature in a local publication, or simply being known as the go-to person in your market, recognition only works if you make it work for you. Too often, agents let their hard-earned visibility fade after that moment passes instead of turning it into lasting momentum. Today, we are asking the question, are you making your recognition work for you, or are you letting it slip by without building on that opportunity? And as I always ask, who are you and what is your why? We will cover all of it. And on set with me today is Louise Phillips Forbes from Brown Harris Stevens and Brian Lewis, the Brian Lewis from Compass. But first, let me welcome my listeners and viewers from across the United States and all around the globe. This is Talking New York Real Estate, so let's go behind the headlines and inside real estate, the state of our industry.
What do you really need to know about buying or selling a home? First, it's serious business, and it's complicated. There's a lot of money on the table, and emotion too. You need an agent who knows the ropes. So, whether you're buying or selling your home, work with professionals who have a mastery of the craft.
Hi, it's Stephen Bailey from Roadway Moving and Storage. Listening to Vince Rocco, you know the right partner makes all the difference. At Roadway, we deliver an experience your clients will love. For specialized services and white glove care, choose Roadway. Want to learn more? Email me at stephen@roadwaymoving.com or visit roadwaymoving.com.
Okay, everybody, we are back. Today we're talking about recognition. You know, one of my favorite topics, because in this business, in this industry, there are way too many agents out there. We all know that. I think the number is close to 50,000 agents running around New York City. Now, we talk about the Hollywood, kind of rule. 20% of agents are doing stuff. The other 80% are trying to figure out what their name is. And it is what it is. But when you understand your recognition, when you understand who you are, when you learn how to brand yourself, and we talk about social media, we'll get to that in a minute, this is when you stand out. I have two industry standouts here in New York today with Louise Phillips Forbes and Brian Lewis. They've been in the business for many years before me. I'm 23 years. I think you're about 25 years?
99. Yeah, I was 10 years old when I got my license.
And Wheezy is probably 150 years.
35.
But we are all here,
Still
35.
looks
There you
good.
go. We're all here
Got
doing
it.
the same thing and traveling the same streets. But again, to stand out, to be somebody who is recognized and remember is a big thing. But especially when I'm teaching the younger agents, I say to them all the time, and especially because of social media, and I'll start with you, Brian, I ask the question, who are you? What is your why? And why I say this is because when you need to brand yourself, you have to first understand, and I talk about this like every week lately, so please forgive me, but it's the baseline, I believe, of what we need to do as real estate agents to be successful. Who are you? What is your why? And how do you incorporate that into your very well-known brand?
Well, first of all, Vince and Louise, thanks for having me. This is amazing.
You're back home for a minute.
I love it. I literally, it's a nest here. And Vince, what you do.
Don't worry, Robert.
What your brand is, I think you exemplify it really well.
Thank you.
You help connect people, you teach people, you bring out the best in people, and you shine a light in our industry that I think is so necessary.
Thank you. I
So it's
appreciate that.
clear when you ask me, and I'm looking up to you, and I'm going, okay, who am I? I am dad to Pearl and Daisy, number one.
Yeah, you are.
I'm a husband who tries every day when you wake up. I say I do.
Yes,
The
dear.
wedding day.
Yes, dear.
The wedding day is easy to say I do. It's the every day you have to say yes. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
So, dad, husband, son, mom and dad are in heaven, and a brother. Now, I am the son of farmers from Virginia. I am a boy who was one of the first to go to college in his family. And I am someone who believes in New York because New York has given me all my good stuff. Mm-hmm. New York has given me everything good. New York celebrates my life, my marriage, my family. I love the city, and it's great to be part of it. Mm-hmm. Mm. My why. I like to meet people where they are and help them thrive. I really like that. I like to, and that includes myself. Mm-hmm. Literally, I like to say, okay, where are you, dude? How can I help you thrive? Because deep down inside, there's a little Virginia boy here who is nervous and scared
I was
in the world.
If you went to that Virginia guy, because that's cool, in my opinion.
That's me.
That's you.
And
yes.
That's all I can be is me.
Yeah.
So I also, maybe part of my who am I is I am the keeper of that little dude mm-hmm. who dreamed. Mm-hmm. And he dreamed of bright lights. Well, I got those.
You got those today.
Big city, got that. A family and a life that would complement the way he was raised. I was raised. And I'm working toward that every day. So I try to make myself thrive, but I like to help others thrive as well. My kids, my family, my brothers, my clients. Anyone I come in contact with, I want to help them. And I always look up to certain agents. Louise, you're one of them. Mm. You always bring mm-hmm. excellence.
Absolutely.
You always bring knowledge. You always celebrate who's in front of you. And you always see people. And there's a few. You, Lisa.
That's so well said, because it's very true where this lady is concerned. But you, and we'll talk about this in a minute, but you've established quite the brand through the years, and I've known you almost 25 years, and I started at the same company as Brian was working for, Halstead at the time, and we were young agents there. But you really created quite the brand and quite the recognition. We're going to get to that in a minute, but first I want to ask Weezy, the same question. Who are you? I mean, I know who you are because you've also established quite the brand, but who are you? What is your why? And when it comes to branding mm-hmm. out there, because again, we have a lot of competition and we have to be better than our competition. Who are you?
Well, I'm like you. I'm a Southern girl. I was born and raised in Nashville. And, I have a degree in elementary education, special education, and dance. Mm-hmm. My dad was like, I don't know, how you gonna make a living on that? but
she did okay.
I am so grateful that first of all, both from watching my parents who came from very modest means. My dad's father was a minister, and my mom's family had a lot of money but lost it during the Depression, and my great-great-great-grandfather founded Vanderbilt Medical School, and we have a very old Nashville name. But I really, like you, I came to New York to dance. I had a scholarship in college. I worked with special needs kids and special needs children, and that my passion was first to dance. And I came here, and I got my ass handed back to me. Bloop.
As we all do. As we all do.
That said, I slung a lot of drinks. I modeled. I did in industrial stuff, and all of it was incredibly fulfilling. And somebody said while I was slinging drinks at Brother Jimmy's in 1980 something, you'd be so good in real estate. And I was like, huh. And she was like, call my friend. I called her friend, and I called my brother. I was like, I got a job in real estate. He's like, that's commission only. I was like, oh, okay. But, I made $8,400 my first year, and we are raised to not talk about money. And honestly, the first thing I do is, hi, how much you got? What do you want to spend?
35 years ago, that wasn't a bad first year.
Anyhow. The first time I wrote my goals to make commissions, because again, I had no reference, was to make $25,000 a year in real estate. Mm-hmm. And I was so hungry, annoyingly so, eager to learn. And, my why, I've had a lot of loss in my life. I lost my brother who died of AIDS. when I was 30. My mom passed away when I was 23 from a liver transplant. I had a boyfriend when I was 38, pass away from multiple myeloma. And I also got lost in the shuffle early. And so I've been sober. Everybody who knows me knows I'm sober. You wouldn't think it because Lord knows I can have fun. But something clicked where...
I love your honesty, Weezy. You're just incredible.
I love that.
Yeah.
But something clicked in actually an AA meeting when I had to go out and do no-fee rentals on 108th and Amsterdam, dodging bullets. You know, I was like, they were like, what's your commission? And I was like, what do you want to pay me? I didn't know. I mean, when you talk about money, my accent would just get really thick because it's uncomfortable. And it was so much easier to put a value to myself by being of service and also being an educator. So when I figured out that is who I want to be in the world, and to do something so purposefully as provide people the place that's safest for them, which is their home. And that is, the rest is history. I didn't need to. I was always driven and wanted to have a family. I did not get married. I kissed a lot of frogs. Didn't get married till I was 40.
You live in New York, you kiss a lot of frogs.
We've all kissed frogs.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
We've all done that.
But I met my husband on a blind date, and you know, I met him 10 days after my dad passed away on the same day, 20 minutes from the exact moment my mom died. You know, 10 days after I met him, and it was 15 years later. And I was like, you know what? I mean, I just knew when I met him because he was so present and. But I really felt like, okay, Mama, you took yours back, and you're bringing me mine. And when you find a partnership that celebrates you every day, then you can live in your shoes and fill your shoes because they believe in you. And some days, thankfully, when I'm at 20, he's at 90, and when he's at 20, I'm at least 80. But those things are
They work.
Those things are what keep me in this business, which I used to think was architecture and brick and mortar, but it's really the business of people.
No, it's all about people.
I have 17 godchildren that are all actually driven from being clients
being
at
real estate.
one point in my life.
That says it all.
Absolutely.
That's not easy to say.
It is not.
It's the most intimate relationship that someone wants you to be the role model, the hero, and the guardian of their child. That's incredible.
Yeah.
But as
and it's
both
an
of you
honor.
say, it's really all relationship driven. This is what this business, it's the greatest, people business that I've ever worked in. And I was in sales for years and years before I became a real estate agent. And I thought I knew what people were all about. And clearly you don't until you're in real estate. But the two of you, when I think of you, I think about energy. I think about driven. I think about, you want to be successful. You stand out in a crowd. These are the things that, make us memorable or make us recognized. So, Brian, what do you want people to immediately recognize about you when they hear about you or hear your name? What is the first thing you want to pop into someone's mind when Brian Lewis, the name, pops up?
I like the word thrive. I really like that. But something, Jake, came to mind when you said that you wake up and your husband believes in you. I feel like our clients want us to believe in them and their homes, and they want to be seen, and they want to be, we got you. They want a GPS. They're going to drive, but we have to guide them. And they want someone with, experience and knowledge. That's all something we have, and we're building on every day. We learn every day, but to believe in your client and you believe you can get them to the finish line and know what their need is and subjugate your own need. I just feel like belief, and I believe him, and I'm going to thrive, and we're going to have fun along the way.
I agree. Louise, when I think of you, I think of force. You're a force to be reckoned, in a good way. I don't mean in a bad way, but a force to be reckoned with, meaning I'm here, I'm going to drive this bus, and I'm going to make you, my client, happy and successful. But when you think of what people might think of you when they hear your name or when you first arrive somewhere. What comes into your mind? I agree with Thrive. I agree with Force. What do you think?
I mean, for me, I think that what I try to be is authentic and real.
There you
and
go.
Humble enough to say, I'm not sure about that. Let me research that and do what I say I'm going to do. And I think also trustworthy. I mean, look, we don't ever get to choose who we collaborate with on a co-broke, but because somebody doesn't have the kind of experience I have, it is my responsibility to elevate them and give them the guidance with whatever my inside information I can share, but still holding my own clients' needs in clarity with a boundary or where we can find the give and take. And I just think that has been something I tried to, when I figured out that my buyers are here today and may be gone tomorrow, but if I treat somebody that's on the other side of the table with such admiration and celebration, then my clients see like, wow, everybody really, really actually likes you too. So you must, I mean, I've had so many people who say, I'd like you to represent me. I know I had another broker, but you were so tough, but fair, engaging, educational, and I feel like you are going to be a better advocate for me. And I don't mean to take business from people.
No.
But you treat people the way you want to be treated.
You elevate the process. I've been on the other side of many wheezy deals. It's a pleasure, and I've learned from it because you never lose track of who your fiduciary is. But in that relationship that you're building, and sometimes we end up, sometimes we have to earn the paycheck of our co-broker because they might be green or they may not know.
Often.
Or they don't know what a co-op is. But our seller
Sadly,
chose
that's
them.
very true.
Our
By
seller
the way,
chose them.
I didn't know what a co-op was on my first deal for $63,000 on 80th Street, which is a third floor walk-up.
There you go. But
What a deal. Such a deal, $63,000.
63,000. But we elevate it, we bring it, and we serve our seller in doing so. And those relationships, instead of getting angry and upset and entitled, breathe, embrace them, teach them. You've got a friend and an ally for life. And when they see your listing, they're going to, oh, that's a Brian Lewis listing. That's a Louise Phillips Forbes listing. I love them.
Precisely my goal here, because of the recognition factor. That's a Brian listing, that's a Louise listing, that's a whatever. It is so true and it resonates. All right, we've got to take a quick break. No one's going anywhere. We're coming right back with Brian and Louise. Talking New York Real Estate is just getting underway on this very busy day here in New York City.
I'm Brian Scott Cohen, one of the top loan originators in the country and the #1 mortgage originator at Guaranteed Rate Infinity. Guaranteed Rate Infinity arguably has the most advanced tech in the industry. Our completely digital loan process makes it easy and efficient for homeowners, from a 15-minute pre-approval to the digital application and through closing. My team and I would love to help you get into the home of your dreams.
This beautiful set here at Studio 1873 is brought to you by the Everset. The Everset provides full-service staging and furniture rental solutions in the New York area. For more information, please visit us at staging.theeverset.com or email us at staging@theeverset.com to request a free proposal.
Okay, so Brian, do you think agents underestimate their power of their personal recognition in either building their brand or continuing out there, as you guys both were talking about, working with co-brokes? Do you think agents kind of don't recognize who they are or underestimate who they are in a negative way where they could probably turn that into a very good positive, but they don't really know any better or think any better? And again, I'm talking to two people who have very high profiles out there, and when I hear either of your names, it's always like, wow, and whatever comes behind that. What do you think about the general population?
Yeah. It's very kind of you to recognize that. I never see it, and I don't mean that in a humble, braggy way.
No,
I literally am grinding.
Yeah,
so
you are.
I'm the
Don't even
Warren
think about
Buffett
it.
of
Yeah.
real estate, and I just get up and go, and I'm going to go till I'm 900 years old to serve the client, to make it happen, because I love doing it. And I think that
you have to love doing
that
it.
New York vibe, meeting my farmer grandparents, great grandparents, that's a very patient world, farming, planting seeds, plowing, resting a field, moving on. And I that's the way I approach it. And I do my workouts that way. I raise my kids that way. I invest that way, slow and boring, and keep going and make it fun. And then suddenly someone has you on a podcast saying, you're really esteemed. And I'm like, what? Whatever. But thank you. Michael Goldenberg was my first manager, and he kicked my butt every day. And I love you, Michael. When I was young and cocky,
force.
Yes,
get away from that.
When I was young and cocky and didn't know a lot, but I pretended I did, he sat me down in his office and he said, I looked at your ad. It was me leaning against the Empire State Building, and it was like year one. And I put a lot of money into the ad, and I put them in the movie theaters, and I was all cute, you know. I'm like, look at me, this is easy. And it said, Brian Lewis sells Manhattan. And he come in his office. He said, well, what did you sell? Like oh, I sold two
Manhattan.
things. They're both in Manhattan. He goes, stop. Having your energy is good. Having your marketing is good. I'll never forget it. Make it about the client, not you.
Amen.
Amen. So I have fallen into the trap many times. As a matter of fact, this summer I ran a thing in the Hamptons magazine at someone gave me the advice, and I said, okay, fine. I didn't make it about the client. It just had my numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And it just had it was braggy. And I reluctantly did it. And the Michael Goldenberg voice came in my head after we paid for the ad, and I thought, oh my goodness. And you know what? It delivered in a way, but it didn't deliver the quality of client that I'm after.
Your essence.
It didn't, because they didn't understand what I can offer, right?
Yeah.
They understood, and no one wants their broker to be richer than them. No one wants to see that you sold whatever billion, blah, blah. They want to know how their needs can be met, and how your whatever energy you bring, or ad budget, or great staff, or whatever.
It's interesting. I have
they want to know how it serves them.
Yeah.
Right?
Because as you
sorry,
said,
I cut you off.
No, it's okay.
you used the word fiduciary before. And what we learn as new agents is our fiduciary responsibility is always to our client. We work for them. We take direction from them.
I mean,
it's not about us.
You're out there because of them, right?
Exactly.
But I would say that I find it interesting when I teach, or I'm talking to people that are saying like, how can I be $1 million broker?
Yeah.
Right.
And I was like, one deal at a time.
That's it.
And I actually,
one foot in front of the other, as my mother
I
used
just
to say.
closed, I just closed a $337,000 deal, which was an exclusive, which honestly, I did not have the time to do that transaction.
Correct.
But that's somebody I did 4 transactions with over the years.
Right.
And she was in a pickle.
Right.
And I didn't want to farm it out to somebody because she entrusted me. And so I don't really look to just do the cha-ching deals.
Right.
I do. Call me. No, but I hear you. You'll do what's in front of you and do it right. I learned.
We can do a co-exclusive.
I would love that. I would love it all day long.
It's totally true, though. We get the good ones and we get the
That's it.
smaller ones, and it is what it is.
Here's
right?
where I learned that.
Studios are always going to be around New York.
Right?
That's the way it is.
My great-grandmother was born in 1898, and I remember her because I'm not young. I called her Money because I couldn't say Mommy, but I have no idea why I was calling my great-grandmother Mommy.
Money.
But Money always played this game with me, carom, and we would flick these things, and we would talk about the olden days in Virginia. And she would always make me, she gave me those Sunday school lessons, right? Like, play well with others and be kind and see people, and everyone is the same in God's eyes and in our eyes. And I'll never forget those lessons. And then I worked in the Ritz-Carlton and the Four Seasons right up the street here. And I carried bags for well over a decade. And I think maybe that was among my favorite jobs ever, because I got to see how wealthy people were. And I'd never been around that. And so the most important thing I took away from that is, with the Ritz-Carlton and with the Four Seasons, everybody got the 5-star treatment. Even if you were in the room with no view, or if you were in the presidential suite, No one had a different tier of service. So you took the $337,000
That's great learning.
walk up. Everyone got the 5-star Louise treatment because you only know one way to be. Everyone's like, well, what is, how do you, is it different? My highest sale, and I'll brag about it till I top it, was $42 million. And it started because I was in a shared ride. It's called Via. Love those. With a woman. I miss Via.
Boy.
And I was just talking to this lady, and it wasn't all that stuff you learn about elevator
Great
pitch
networking,
and
great
how do you
networking.
I wasn't doing
You're
email.
just talking to her
I
like
was
a
just
person.
talking to her, and she had a little dog in a bag, and I loved it. And then I learned that she spoke a little French, and I was an exchange student in France as a kid, so I used my
3 words.
all that. But if I have a little wine, it gets better. But the long and short is, she goes, could you go meet my friend? I'm like, sure. His broker's not helping him. And I said, well, I can't step on toes. Are they still signed? No, that faded. And I was like, great. I went to the property. It was incredible. And I got hired and I sold it. And I'm just, if she had
Such a
said,
New
I have a
York
studio apartment and my friend wants you, I would do it.
It's
I don't
such
treat
a New
them
York
differently.
moment, and it's
That's a very New York moment.
And it is that's, to me, that's grace. That is because of all the times of just showing up authentically yourself. That I always said that I feel that our business is really attraction, not promotion.
Mm-hmm.
And if you happen to, we have to put ourselves out there, but put yourself out there as you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be anything else. And I agree with you on those numbers. It just leaves you going like, that was against my grain.
When you network properly and you do, I said, I miss those Via cars. I got several listings out of those Via cars just by, as you say, talking to people, being who you are, being your authentic self. Just
you can
chit-chatting.
still share cabs with people.
You can.
know,
Just
but
to be
you
clear,
can.
you just
But
go, hey
it's-
guys, do you want to
it's-
share?
But it's just not the same. But let me ask you, Brian, when you're recognized, whether through awards, press, mentions, company awards, whatever, client testimonials, how do you amplify that moment instead of letting it fade? Like I talked about in the opening, a lot of times people achieve greatness, but they don't know what to do with it, and then it just fades away because it will fade away. How do you amplify whatever it is, whether it's an award, a press mention, a client, saying, hey, Brian, you're the greatest in the world? How do you take that to the next level or the next step?
I'm always learning and trying to do better. I
You
literally, whatever's next, we'll try it. We'll give it a go. I have a really great staff who, we're a small but mighty group who make me look really good. So behind Oz, who's this little dude, not so little. There is a team.
Yeah.
And they, and I've got Sean who helps me with the social stuff. And I've got Spencer at the desk and Tim and Linda, and we all work together, but they help me. Mm-hmm. They amplify it. And whenever I do a post, I like it to be educational and fun, but I also want it to be about the client, and I want to thank the client. And I see a lot of agents doing that. I love that. Without the clients, you're nothing, and you're doing it because of them. I love the attraction thing. Love that. And I'm going to take that nugget away.
Okay.
It is grace. It is all of that stuff. But we do all the social stuff. I must admit, I feel a little, not judgy. I cringe a little when I see the agents, and it's often not in New York. They'll have like that big, crazy, cartoony check. Like they got a big commission, and in some markets, and I just go, oh.
You have time to look at that stuff?
Right. Well, it comes up, and I'm like, but that's not my vibe. My vibe is to thank
Take
the
what
people.
you need and leave the rest, baby.
Thank the people in front of you and keep it about them, and amplify that. Less about your numbers and more about their success.
Right. And I love it when I read things on social media where, agents, at your level or even lower say, I want to thank my clients for this new recognition or this new award that I got. Because if it weren't for my customers or my clients, I wouldn't be here. How do you amplify?
Well,
When you get something, and both of you get awards all the time, how do you take that then and make it work for you even more without it fading away?
I have never done a testimonial. I've never wanted to ask or post or on those things. I mean, sometimes I just have to get out of my own way and
Yeah.
just let the people who know more than I do do what I'm not comfortable with. But I would say it's really carrying it forward is living my life. My business is woven into my everyday life. You know, I have had the privilege to do about 30 development projects where I not only got to create, design, collaborate to make an amazing building, but I get to build the community. So those kinds of experiences, they all have different essences. And, you know, like I'm selling something at 50 Madison Avenue, which I sold to the man. I was pregnant with Douglas. He'll be 22 on Saturday. So it was almost 23 years ago. And I sold them. He got a divorce. He lived in the apartment. We did Operation Brady Bunch because he married 3 kids and 3 kids. And anyway, I'm selling his apartment again. And, you know, it's relationships. So I keep it alive by being connected. And it's not, I'm an old school girl. I like to call and text and say, wait, I ran into this funny, I went to go to the Beacon Theater. And remember when we went to see ZZ Top 3 months ago? Whatever it is, it's just reconnecting. That is what fills my soul.
All right, we're going to take another quick break. Coming right back. Don't go anywhere. We're going to talk about some tools and some of the things that have elevated these 2 giants here even higher than we think. We're coming right back.
Hi, I'm Dylan Pachulik, CEO of XL Real Property Management, New York's most trusted name in luxury property management since 2012. We specialize in managing individual apartments, townhouses, and rental buildings held by absentee owners. We maintain our properties with the highest standards of quality and service so that owners can choose a hassle-free approach to real estate investing. Rented or owner-occupied, we handle it all. For more information, contact us at xl-rpm.com.
Okay. We are back. So, Louise, let me ask you, you know, what tools do you use? And, you know, typically, you know, in these days, you know, social media is everything. And if we use social media correctly, that builds our brand. It continues to nurture our brand and continues to get us out there in ways that our recognition really doesn't go anywhere. What tools do you use off social media or on social media that is really kind of working for you well?
I mean, first of all, let's just start with the fact that I'm dyslexic and tech is not my gig. So thankfully, it's the village behind me. And
you also have a great big team and a good team behind.
They're so solid.
Yeah, they
and it's my family and then my work family. And to grow and watch us grow, I think that would be what I learned in the 90s, that I need extensions of myself and all of my strengths. I have many, but I have so many weaknesses that can be complemented. And the social media and that sort of stuff is not something I'm really comfortable with. I know.
But you're really good at it.
But
Hello.
I finally dedicate 1 hour a month. That's what I dedicate to my social media. And the rest is the support behind me. And what I do with that is really authenticity. You know, really try to be exactly me. I am all about fitness. We all know I love my heels. I am all about my children. I mean, we're in football season. Do you all know how much football? And my husband was like, can we turn off the Monday night football? It's not even our kids playing.
I'm very into football. We don't turn any football off.
And
There you go.
But allowing people to experience who I am gives them an opportunity to decide if I'm a good fit for them. Because I think that how we live our life is how we can also do business.
But talk to us a little bit about your videos, because your videos, I think they're classic. I think they're incredible. If you haven't seen them, you must see them. But you mix a lot of business, but yet you mix a lot of you and personal. And so whenever I see you popping up in my news feed, I don't know what I'm going to get. I always end that video saying, damn, another good one. Holy cow. Right? So what creates
I
that.
think we can't take ourselves too frickin' seriously,
No,
guys.
no, we cannot.
And I also think, I mean, I would like, personally, if I could just have 9,927 posts about my children, I would be happy. But they're like, Mom,
Come on, Mom.
They have
can you
beautiful
take that
children.
down
Have
off?
you seen
Can
her
you?
kids lately? I can't even believe their age.
They
Whatever.
anyway. If I could have more of them, see, you still have that option because they just don't quite know about it. Although they might be soon.
14 and 13 this year.
Are they
so 8th grade
already?
and 7th grade. Yeah, Pearl is
Jeez.
up to here.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
I'm getting old.
But
Brian.
I like you. I love the videos. Been doing them forever.
Well, I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
we
your
all
video-
learned from you, baby.
Oh, please.
The industry has learned from
But
Brian
I love
Lewis
what you
videos,
just
okay?
said about Louise, about being authentic and being you and not taking it seriously. I mean, our clients we take very seriously and their homes.
Yeah.
But we amplify it.
It's okay to
And
be light. It's
it
okay
is.
to.
Of course it is.
My favorite thing, Vince, is to tell the story. Dignify
Thank you. Tell a
everything
story.
with every home has a story. And every home is somebody's most expensive, valuable place.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it may not be in its best moment, but we can amplify what is great about it at any price point, at any quality.
Yep.
Some speak for themselves, the view, it's easier, but it's the good old everyday pre-war resales that are my bread and butter. I love the glass towers when I get them. I love the new dev when I get them, but
It's the old souls we
it
love.
is the old souls and the stories, and I love it. And
If those walls could talk.
that's it. And then I like to do these facts about New York that
Well, your
I
your
enjoy.
Friday. What do you fun
Fact Friday.
It's-
These are
they're incredible.
It's our mood right now. We're like, well,
Yeah.
what about let's try this? And some of them get a lot of hits.
Yes, they do.
And some of them don't, but I enjoy doing them.
Well, it's
And
also it's the process of getting all the information and going like, oh shit, I didn't know that.
that's it. And then the creation. You're a dancer. I came up as an actor, and all of this. I love
And a
to-
bellhop, baby.
And a bellhop. But to create is a joy. You're creating newscaster, but we bring all of our gifts and we amplify them for our client, which I love doing.
Well, you know, I'm happy you said that because I think everybody has a different gift. Everybody has a different specialty, if you will. And as long as you're able to be in touch with that, and that's why I always start with who are you, what's your why, blah, blah, because you need to be in touch with who you are to tap into that special gift. You came up as an actor, you came up as a dancer. Both came up as I did in a thankless city sometimes where, you know, you get kicked in the butt if you don't do what you need to do, etc. But we've persevered and we've gone past that because we take it from within and we figure out, okay, I'm not going to be defeated. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to be who I am, because if I'm not who I am, people aren't going to like me. But there are too many unauthentic people.
I think it's
or
too much work.
insincere
Too much
people.
work.
It's too much work to
And
be
it's
not
too
who
much
you
work.
are
You.
and being true to yourself.
Right.
Better said, too much work.
Right.
When you're not being who you really are.
as a young actor, not knowing who I was.
Well, that's different.
And
Right.
then playing other people and trying to be what I wanted to be for the casting director so I could be on 90210. And being that guy walking in the room and then being the guy on the thing.
Were you
and
on
then
90210?
No.
No.
Call back.
All right, there you go.
But anyway, I loved what I did until I turned 30 and I wanted to have kids.
Yeah.
And I wanted more from my life. And this industry of brave, smart, talented, resilient people who worked hard for the yes, who had a sense of community, they let me be me.
Yeah.
And
For sure.
I got to tell you, it was like a family,
Yeah.
especially at Halstead,
Yeah.
especially with Goldenberg and Abby and
Oh.
all of that culture. And you still have that here.
Yeah.
It's
Those-
such a
those
good
days,
nest.
I was going to say it still hasn't changed.
So it's important to find a nest that works for you, where your yes, your why is celebrated
Yeah.
and amplified.
And amplified, exactly. But you
Because
gotta-
that serves
but
your
you-
clients. Because if you go into the world happy,
But you just have to stay on that.
tracks.
though,
It
and
tracks.
be aware of that. It absolutely tracks. A couple last questions. Do you see recognition though as personal achievement, or do you see it as a tool, or both? Because it can be a tool, I think. What more of a personal achievement, a tool, or would you say both?
the longer I'm doing this, I don't mean I don't want to be recognized. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I don't care as much. I want to sell for the client, get it done. I know what my numbers are. I want their numbers high. I want my buyers to call me in 22 years and ask me to sell their Brady Bunch house. That's an award. That's
in itself.
like in itself.
Yeah.
It's nice to be recognized. The company I'm with now, they don't do that.
Right.
But those Inman things, and I love it. I don't mean to sound ungrateful, but it used to mean everything. And as a younger man, I was really hanging on to it because I didn't feel like I was enough. Mm-hmm. And it drove me. Mm-hmm. And it's not a bad thing. But now it's different.
Yeah.
It is not a bad thing. It drives you to the point where you can say, okay, and I don't mean this in a bad way, I have arrived where I want to be. There's always more room for growth, but now you sustain, and now you keep it going, because at a certain point, people are going to expect you to continue to be you and to continue to be you.
For sure.
Right?
For sure.
And that's how you build upon your reputation that you've spent years building and getting to.
I'll just add to something to that for myself, it's interesting because my son will be 22 and Kenneth, it will be 20 in December, and they are so, so close, and it's so beautiful. They inherited a little money from Chris's dad when he passed away, and they bought a multifamily house.
That. Yeah, good for them.
In April. Mm-hmm. And I am watching how they collaborate with each other, and they're handling all of it, including...
In Connecticut, right?
In Connecticut.
Yeah.
And Douglas called me last night to tell me that he passed the inspection for the Section 8. And
all right.
His rent went from $11.75 to $23.30 for a woman who has several kids, who's getting out of a shelter, and he feels like he's making a difference for her, and he's building a relationship. He's like, Mom, can you get me some furniture from some of the staging apartments, because this woman has nothing. And so, first of all, to be able for my son to say, I want to do real estate, and Mom, can you help introduce me to people?
Well, look at the role model.
People are watching, right?
But let me just say that to watch how my people respond to me in asking a favor, but most of all, which is that in itself is a great compliment. And he wants to do commercial real estate. But for me to be able to call Steve Siegel, and Steve Siegel respond to me and say, Weezy, whatever you need, have him go on a tour with me. Anyway, my son also holds his own, and they're like, you done good there. So to say that's the recognition that I'm seeking today, which is when I'm received well, when I'm showing an apartment of yours, and Linda throws her arms around me and gives me a hug, I have a family it isn't competition. It's a life that I've built one deal at a time.
And people are watching. The kids are watching. What a gift. What a compliment. It says everything about your style and your approach. Younger agents are watching. They're watching this, literally, and they watch us. And let's always bring our better angels, because we all have bad days, man. I fall on my face every day.
Of course.
Every day. And I get up and I say I do, and I grind, and we try new things every day. I don't have all the solutions. I only have the solutions that got me here. And now that I look up, there are so many titans that I'm like, wow, there's other mountains here.
Yeah.
There's other things to do, and that's why we keep going.
That's why we keep going, and we want to pass on our success. You to your family, to your children, you eventually to your family and your children as they get older. But also we pass on our success. You've heard me talk about this on this program many times. I start my morning before I leave my house every day saying, how am I going to be memorable today? And when I come home at night, I ask myself the same question. This goes on every day. I'm crazy. Were you memorable today? And you guys, in my opinion, are definitely memorable. But do you seek out, do you ask yourself that question in the morning or sometime during the day? And when you come home at night, do you check in with yourself to make sure that, hey, not only was my day good, and maybe not even so good, but I was memorable. I left my name. I left my mark. Somebody's going to remember a conversation we had. It's not easy to do, but do you do that?
Here's what I do. I ask if I can be helpful. If I can be helpful and not get in the way, because sometimes we become the problem. But when I wake up,
absolutely become the problem.
When I wake up, I try to do it when the house is quiet. I write.
Yeah.
I dump all the stuff that's playing ping pong
Swirling.
all day.
Yep.
and I get it out.
For that book someday.
And well, don't read it
Brian
because
Lewis
it's the
story.
ramblings of an insane person.
Well, mine is too.
It
but that's
literally, don't read it. Sometimes I burn them. But it gets it out. And then I think back to my great-grandmother. How can you be of service?
Of course.
How can you see them?
Well, that's my
How
point.
can you help them?
That's my point.
And I try to do it with my kids, with my marriage, with my clients, and I don't always succeed. But at the end of the day,
But that's what makes us tougher.
was I helpful, and what could I do?
Right.
And and that keeps me on my true north. That keeps me on the point.
How about you? I know you're memorable, or most of the
But
time.
I don't. I
do you
don't actually
focus on
it.
it.
No, I focus on what I'm grateful for, and because when you're really hard on yourself, which I am, I'm very driven and I'm very hard in that worthiness and like feeling enough, whether it's as a sister, as a wife, as a mom, as a team lead. So if you start with gratitude, I think that centers me.
Absolutely.
And my days are like I just choose to be fulfilled. And there's another day that I'm going to hopefully be a better version of myself. Every time you say Pearl's name, I got to tell this quick story. My mom, my first job was
I think we'll all remember Pearl as being number one.
Oh.
I babysat at church, but that was my first, like at camp when I was 10 and 11 with my sister. But when I was 15, I got my first job. Dad would drive me. I worked at Shoney's.
Me too,
Y'all remember
15.
Shoney's?
Chick-fil-A.
There you go.
Fry guy.
So
Yeah. Shoney's. I loved Shoney's. The big boy.
It's the first stock I ever bought.
I thought that was God holding a hamburger.
That is
literally
really
that
funny.
statue. That's what I thought.
That's money. That's money.
I was like, that's God. And he has a hamburger.
So Pearl, I came home like 5 days after, working, and I came home and there was this woman, Pearl, who had the giant white beehive with the big, big blue eyeshadow. And every single person who came in, she knew him. Like, how you doing, Tom? How you been? How the kids? And remembers what he drinks, what he eats. And, I came home and she was like in her late 60s. And I was like, I don't want to be Pearl, Mama. Anyway, and my mother was so wise. She said, honey, in life, what I will just tell you, you have an opportunity. Every person you come in contact with, your goal should be to leave them with something and to get something from them.
Absolutely.
And for Pearl, that smile that she gives them, her seeing them, remembering what they have, her being so grateful that her grandson is the first person to graduate from high school that she helped pay for, is going to college. Her simplicity could just be you giving, like I try to write, my mom used to give the milkman who delivered the milk, homemade pickles on, once a month. So it's like you can just make somebody's day with a smile.
Yeah.
And that's a gift.
Yeah.
So I just say that that moment when I hear Pearl, I think of. And it's the simple things that if we can continue to be the best version of ourselves and remember that we always have something to share with somebody and you have something to get, that's how we stop. If you don't keep learning, you stop living.
Learning is everything. I don't care what profession you're in. I don't care how old we are, whatever. If you can't learn, I say, life stops. We got to take a break. We're coming back with my final thoughts right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, it's Stephen Bailey from Roadway Moving and Storage. Listening to Vince Rocco, you hear a lot about how crucial it is to have the right partners in this industry. At Roadway, we don't just move your clients, we give them an experience they'll love. From specialized services to our white glove treatment, it's all about making sure your clients feel taken care of every step of the way. And if you're looking for a rewarding referral program, reach out to me at steven@roadwaymoving.com or visit roadwaymoving.com.
Okay, everybody, we are back. So recognition in many forms is a reflection of the impact that you've made, but its real value lies in how you harness it moving forward. Too often, agents celebrate the moment and then move on, missing the chance to build a stronger narrative about who they are and why they matter. The truth is, every award, every testimonial, every mention is an opportunity to reinforce your brand, deepen client trust and remind both your market and yourself of the value you bring. When you tie recognition back to your why, it becomes more than just applause, it becomes proof of purpose. And when you learn to leverage that proof constantly or consistently, you stop chasing the spotlight and start owning it. So as you reflect on your wins, ask yourself, am I using this recognition to shape my story and my future, or am I letting it fade into the background? Because as Vince Rocco says, recognition does fade, but when you make it work for you, the legacy will last forever. And that's our broadcast for today. Thanks for joining me on set. You can follow me on Facebook, on Threads, Instagram, LinkedIn, Blue Sky, Substack, or TikTok at Vince Rocco. And Norman Vincent Peale says, shoot for the moon, everyone. Even if you miss, you land among the stars. And from all of us here at Talking New York Real Estate and the More Network to all of you all around the world, thanks for spending a part of your day with us. I'm grateful, and keep thinking the good thoughts, and we will see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.